Stop scrolling. 6 months from now, nobody has to recognize the person you are today. Not because you changed your face, your job, or your city, but because you transformed your mind. While everyone else is chasing attention, the Stoics would tell you to disappear. Not from the world, but from the noise. The greatest victories are often invisible. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, ruled millions of people, yet every morning he reminded himself that his greatest battle was never against barbarians, it was against himself. The question is simple. If your life stayed exactly as it is today for the next 5 years, would you be proud of it? If the answer is no, then perhaps what you need is not another motivational speech. Perhaps what you need is 6 months of silence. Imagine a seed buried beneath the ground. To anyone looking from above, nothing is happening. It seems forgotten, invisible, irrelevant. But beneath the surface, the greatest transformation is already underway. Roots are growing before branches. Strength develops before beauty appears. Nature never rushes the process, yet we live in a world obsessed with immediate results. We want visible success before invisible discipline. We want applause before mastery. We want recognition before sacrifice. The Stoics believed this desire was one of the greatest traps of the human mind. Epictetus once said, "First tell yourself what you want to be, then do what you have to do." Notice what he did not say. He didn't say announce it. He didn't say post about it. He didn't say convince everyone you're changing. He simply said, become it. Quietly, patiently, consistently. Most people never truly rebuild themselves because they never disappear long enough to hear their own thoughts. Their attention belongs to everyone else. Every notification steals a piece of their focus. Every opinion shapes their decisions. Every comparison weakens their confidence. They become actors in someone else's story instead of authors of their own. Think about Marcus Aurelius writing his meditations late at night inside military camps. Those words were never intended for the public. They weren't tweets designed for likes. They weren't speeches crafted for applause. They were conversations with himself. Private discipline created public greatness. That is a lesson our generation desperately needs. Now imagine two versions of yourself standing side by side. One continues living exactly as today, reacting to every distraction, chasing every trend, seeking validation from strangers. The other disappears. Not forever, just long enough to rebuild. 6 months without needing everyone to know every goal. 6 months focused on learning instead of proving. 6 months choosing growth over attention. Which version do you think will have the stronger mind? Seneca warned that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. We fear disappearing because we imagine people will forget us. But here's the truth. Most people are already too busy thinking about themselves. The fear of being forgotten is often just another form of ego, and ego is the enemy of transformation. The first month of rebuilding is uncomfortable. You begin saying no to things that once consumed your time. Endless scrolling becomes reading. Complaining becomes journaling. Entertainment becomes education. The silence feels strange because you've spent years escaping it. But eventually, something remarkable happens. Your thoughts become clearer. Your emotions become calmer. Your impulses lose their power. The Stoics understood that freedom begins with mastery over desire. Every unnecessary craving is another chain. Every addiction to approval is another prison. The modern world profits from your inability to focus. Every platform competes for your attention because attention is currency. But Marcus Aurelius would remind us that your mind belongs to you unless you surrender it. By the second month, the people around you may begin asking questions. Where have you been? Why are you so quiet? Is everything okay? They mistake your discipline for distance because they have never seen someone willingly step away from constant distraction. Do not resent them. Most people cannot understand a journey they have never taken. Musonius Rufus believed that philosophy was not something to discuss endlessly, but something to practice daily. Wisdom without action is decoration. Every morning becomes an opportunity to strengthen character. Every workout becomes a lesson in endurance. Every difficult conversation becomes training in courage. Every setback becomes practice in resilience. During the third month, something even more dangerous appears. Boredom. Not because your life lacks meaning, but because your old habits are dying. The mind addicted to constant stimulation mistakes peace for emptiness. This is where most people quit. They confuse discomfort with failure. But the Stoics would smile because they understood that character is forged precisely in these quiet moments. Imagine an ancient blacksmith shaping a sword. Every strike of the hammer appears destructive. Metal bends, sparks fly, heat intensifies, yet every blow serves a purpose. Your discipline works the same way. Every early morning, every temptation resisted, every excuse defeated, every difficult choice shapes a stronger version of yourself. By the fourth month, results begin appearing not necessarily in your bank account or on social media, but inside your mind. You react less emotionally. You think more clearly. Problems that once overwhelmed you now become manageable. You discover an extraordinary truth. Confidence is not built by praise. It is built by promises kept to yourself. Epictetus taught that no one can harm your character without your permission. External events remain unpredictable, but your response remains your own. This realization changes everything. Suddenly, setbacks lose their ability to define you. Criticism loses its sting. Failure becomes information instead of identity. The fifth month is where momentum becomes identity. You no longer wake up forcing yourself to be disciplined. Discipline has become who you are. You don't exercise because you feel motivated. You exercise because that's what your character demands. You don't read because it's exciting every day. You read because wisdom compounds like interest, invisible at first, undeniable later. Seneca wrote that luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Most people spend their lives waiting for opportunity while neglecting preparation. But when opportunity finally arrives, they are unprepared. The Stoic prepares long before the world notices. Then comes the sixth month. You look into the mirror expecting to see a stranger. Instead, you see someone familiar, someone who was always there beneath the distractions, beneath the fear, beneath the endless search for approval. You didn't become someone else. You became yourself. People will call it a transformation. They will ask for your secret. They will think it happened suddenly. They won't see the mornings when no one was watching. They won't see the nights when quitting felt easier. They won't see the loneliness, the discipline, the invisible victories that built visible success. But you will know. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. For 6 months, you chose discipline over distraction, wisdom over entertainment, action over excuses, courage over comfort. Slowly, your soul changed its color. The greatest irony is that disappearing is not about escaping life. It is about finally meeting it. It is about stepping away from the constant performance that modern society demands and returning to the timeless work of shaping your own character. The Stoics never promised an easy path. They promised a meaningful one. And meaning is always earned through effort. One day, someone will meet you and say, "You've changed." Smile quietly. Because they will only be seeing the surface. They will never witness the countless invisible decisions that built the person standing before them. They will never understand that every extraordinary life is first created in ordinary moments, repeated consistently over time. So if you truly want to rebuild yourself, stop announcing your intentions. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop seeking permission from people who have never walked your path. Disappear not from the people who love you, but from the habits that weaken you. Withdraw from the noise, not from your purpose. Spend 6 months becoming the person your future self is begging you to become. Because in the end, history rarely remembers those who demanded attention. It remembers those who mastered themselves. And perhaps the most powerful thing you will ever build is not a business, a fortune, or a reputation. It will be a mind so disciplined that no circumstance can break it, a character so steady that no criticism can shake it, and a life so deeply rooted in virtue that success becomes only a byproduct. 6 months may seem like a small chapter in the story of your life, but if those months are lived with courage, patience, and stoic discipline, they can become the chapter that changes every page that follows.